Hello community. Okay, so turning up for book club again, and this will go in the private podcast as well, okay? So we are Wednesday today, if I'm not losing track. I have a little bit of a cold, always makes you a little bit fuzzy in the head. So we've got only really a handful of days before we officially start on Monday, okay? But this is a very important part of book club right here. This is our warm-up phase, okay? It's why they're all going into the podcast. So turning up today to talk to you about problems and solutions, and this is always, I only turn up to help you thrive. And I hope you enjoy my beautiful backdrop here. I'm in my sister's apartment, full of gratitude to her for giving me this while I'm between homes. Takes the stress out of life, right? When you don't have to organize all these more things. So I want to talk to you about, with book club, the problems that as a bookkeeper you're facing and how I would like to help you solve these problems. Yeah, it's easy for us to think of ourselves as having unique problems, but as bookkeepers in practice, everything that I see tells us that we have very, very similar problems. And to some extent, there's like problems we know we have, and there's problems we don't know we have. And I'm going to share with you, I spoke to a bookkeeper yesterday and we were talking about her practice, and she really feels that where she's at, she needs rock solid standard operating procedures because she wants to scale herself out of the business. Yeah. And so using this as an example, so sometimes a little bit of knowledge can be a dangerous thing. Yeah. And one thing I'll always say to you is, if you can kind of come to me with the most open mind possible. So the minute we use this phrase, I know, then we close ourselves to growth, to personal and professional growth. So even though you might know a whole lot of things, just like I know a whole lot of things, if we come into everything fresh, ready to learn all over again, this is way better. Because when you come to me and I know, I've been in practice for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and I know this and I know that, well, then there's a whole lot of things that maybe you don't know about what you know, okay? So for example, with someone I spoke to yesterday, I asked them to tell me exactly what they would do if I knocked on their door and I was a DIY bookkeeper, everything was sweet and perfect, and I wanted you to lodge my quarterly compliance. And the bookkeeper said that she would charge out $170 an hour, and it would probably take 2.5 hours. That might sound like a good rate. So I did my sums and I said, that is half what I would charge. Yeah, that is 50%. Now I don't have an hourly rate because I don't sell hours. Yeah. And as a strategic bookkeeper, and one of the fundamentals for success of any business, but let's talk bookkeepers, is the right strategic pricing system. So if you're thinking, wow, $170 an hour sounds amazing, that's like 3 times what I'm charging. Well, I charge twice what this bookkeeper is charging for that same service, because I don't sell hours, I sell outcomes, and I have a robust practice with minimum viable charge out rates. Everybody pays me monthly, not quarterly. I have productized services with outcome bills. Yes, I'm going to get back to the problems, I promise you, in a minute, just like I said I would. But that's a really good example of someone who actually was leaving money on the table. Yeah, so if we times that by 10 experiences, then that was $4,000 she was missing out on. I mean, that pays for almost my entire program. Now, that is just one tiny little area of your business. So that's an example of where the problem was, I don't have the right smart strategic conversion process, a productized service, all these other things that are allowing me to, because the two things that you want, time and money. Yeah. Money you need to put food on the table, and you need your point of satisfaction in order to achieve the lifestyle you want. So you want to be profit and money rich, profit and cash rich, and then you want to be time rich. So this bookkeeper I spoke to has really felt that she was struggling a lot around pulling the time, yeah, and actually all the things that we need to do in our practice that I've done. So this bookkeeper's been in practice 20 years now, and she needs to pull time out of her business and systemize. 5 years into my practice, I had achieved a 6-figure income and I could work as much or little as I wanted. Yeah. So, let's call it 4 hours a week. Still, my practice takes care of itself. So back to bookkeepers on the whole, because whether you've been in practice for 20 years or you're just starting out or 5 years in, etc., the problems that most bookkeepers face could be summarized as how to find, onboard, and retain clients without price as a priority. Yeah. And then I guess, as this bookkeeper said, well, Jeannie, I want a scaled business that I'm not glued to the wheel. Yeah. For me, I guess it still ties into that find, onboard, and retain them without price as a priority. But yeah, the business should be able to operate without you. So find new clients, retain them. Also, I meet bookkeepers who say, well, Jeannie, I've had these clients for years and years and years. Well, I hope you're not finding and retaining them on price and convenience with the 2 buying triggers, because those same clients will pay me twice your fee, yeah, because of my systems and processes, okay? Now, that is the difference between a bookkeeper who has, say, 20 clients making, let's just call it 100,000 just for this example, or 10 clients and 100,000. So I will always encourage you to be small but mighty, work smarter rather than harder. Yeah, if you're doing more work for less money, you're working hard, not smart. So find, onboard, and retain clients without price as a priority, and be able to take your hands off the wheel, yeah, and have your practice scaled so that your team can operate it day to day without you, and yet everything still works like a well-oiled machine, risk is managed, etc. Okay. So the other one is definitely how to stay relevant in a world of automation, AI, robotics, and cheap labor. Yeah. So my book will seek to solve all of these problems. So the book will seek to give you a foundation, yeah, to find, onboard beautifully, and retain clients without price as a priority. It'll give you a foundation in how to fix any cash and profit problems you have. So I want to help you build a highly profitable practice. Yeah. And actually, I was running a workshop today, a training masterclass workshop, whatever you want to call it, on build and maintain a highly profitable practice. And when we were looking at my conversion process compared to other conversion processes, my ability to spend less time getting a bigger result with bigger profits and bigger income was quite apparent. Yeah. So that's what I want to show you how to do. So in this video and this podcast, I just really want you to take a moment to ask yourself, what problems are you trying to solve? Is it the find new clients? Is it the generate new business, which I think is a better phrase than find new clients? Yeah. So generate more business in your practice. Is it that your clients are not retaining forever? We should really be trying to retain forever clients. I mean, 10 years should absolutely be at least the aim. But for me, I want to retain the client for the life of their business, yeah? So how's your retention? So find, onboard, and retain. In terms of pricing, if you're in Australia, are you calculating rates at $93 and above? And then do you have minimum charge out rates? So for example, a DIY bookkeeper who requires compliance for us would be a minimum monthly charge out rate of $250 a month. And even if they need quarterly compliance, we're going to be engaged with them on a monthly basis. And then those clients will often upgrade to receive succession services. What's next on the menu? That's advisory services. So where we investigate the numbers and more and more and more and more. So a DIY client. So one of our highest paying clients is a DIY client, yeah? So they do their own bookkeeping, but they have bought into all the things. So numbers strategy, business strategy, all the things. And we even do recruitment for them and everything, yeah? So lots of opportunity there, okay? So you might say, I need to find new clients, I need to generate new business, I need to really look at I don't have a killer smart strategic pricing system, yeah, pricing strategy that encompasses productized services. You might think, well, that's, that doubled my profits when I even got started with it back in 2015, so 8 years ago. My first go at that, yeah, which is nothing like what I give to you guys. Like you're getting version 20, my first version, I doubled my profitability with that alone. So maybe your problem is that you're not maximizing the opportunity that exists to serve your clients, yeah, and that is linked to pricing system and productized service. Maybe you're feeling like you are having to compete on price because of cheap overseas labor, automation, AI, robotics, those cheap offers out there. I will tell you in the program, we do have a secret competitive advantage that it overcomes price as an objection. It is so high value that I have to keep that one in the vault for the members of my program. But the members of the program, they get amazing results with that. So they're able to charge, 2 and more times more than they ever were before using that strategy. So maybe you're feeling like you have to, my problem you might be thinking is I'm competing on price. I don't compete on price. The members of my transformation program no longer compete on price within weeks of joining. You don't need to compete on price. And I'd suggest if you are going to keep competing on price, you're better serving yourself to get a full-time job. Now, I know as an entrepreneur, you don't want to get a full-time job because your dharma, your purpose is the entrepreneur's journey, okay? Maybe you say your problem is, well, Jeannie, I've got a great practice, lots of clients, but I need to systemize and scale myself out. If that's you, what I'm going to say to you is, yes, you need standard operating procedures, and I'm going to help you with all of that in book club, but you don't know what you don't know, and a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. And I can tell you that if I weave my fingers through your practice like I would do in the transformation program, I would find like in every single area of your business, I would be able to enhance it, okay? But if you come to me and you say everything's perfect, I just need SOPs, then you won't know what you don't know. So come to me open hearts and open minds. So if you haven't already registered for book club, please do so. Love to see you on Monday, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.